Oh yes, this is called Check and Balance by the late Quincy B. May his soul rest in peace. We currently have with us in studios Liberia's acclaimed legal luminary, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, presidential aspirant. Why does he want to be president? Why he wants to retire George Weah? But we will soon join him. This is the day after Liberia's independence celebration. The head for the National Traditional Council of Liberia, Chief Zanzan Kawa, addressed the nation on yesterday through an oration. We will delve into that. Councillor Gongloe will give us his own reading about what he heard yesterday. Talk about his faith. Our lands are fertile, no food on the land. Our children, we're pushing into back. The way we live it, we treating one another unfair. I love the way we live it, we treating one another unfair. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for the future? The hope for the future. Our forefathers were taken into slavery, but in a modern time like this, we're children and slaves. We're fighting a war not with guns and bullets. Okay, thank you, Quincy B. Let's bring this one down. We already out of time. So I was reading a particular book on Monday evening about characteristics of a good leader, and I came across a whole lot of things. A good leader should have integrity, delegation, communication skills, self-awareness, gratitude, learning, agility, influence, empathy, courage, and respect. Councillor Gongloe, welcome. Anyway, sorry for keeping you waiting long. Welcome.
That's all right.
Just face the microphone a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's expected things don't always go the way you plan them. That's why they say, man, plans and God disposes. We didn't expect that this other program was going that long.
How was yesterday's, celebration? You aspiring to be president, you are into the national leadership category, you serve in different capacities in the country, and you being a lawyer, so it helps. How was the celebration yesterday, and how different you think it was from others that we've had since 1847, since you've been around?
Well, I didn't celebrate per se.
Why?
I didn't see anything to celebrate. I thank God for the day that we still have peace in this country, and I was alive, and many of my friends were alive. Yesterday morning, I led the exercise section. I'm a coach of an exercise club in Boys Town community, Marshall area. And then we had somebody came around with a band, said we had to play the national anthem and the Lone Star Forever. That was it.
Okay.
But more than that, I would have expected that you say we are part of the leadership of this country, that the political leaders would have been invited. I wasn't invited.
Really?
I was not invited. And even besides being a political leader, as a former minister and former cabinet minister, I should have been invited. That's what used to happen before.
This is serious. President, we have complained that national leaders into the political space, especially from the opposition side, had always boycotted events. And it's sad to hear that you as a person, and a political leader, was not invited to a program celebrating the country's 176th independence.
I was not invited. If they had a record invitation, at least they didn't reach me. That's what I can say. And I could have been invited in two categories: as a former cabinet minister and as
a political leader.
Right, someone who is still a very powerful political party. Anyway, but you say why the day should not be celebrated?
No, I asked you why you did not celebrate.
Yes.
People celebrated.
Yes, people celebrated. I didn't celebrate because you see, a country that the past ruling party, at least through the mouth of President Saleh, made to become a vampire, where corruption was made to become a vampire. That word, she said, under our administration, corruption became a vampire. That is a transformative word. That means corruption was something less than a vampire before, and it became a vampire. Under this administration, because of corruption, our country has been described by Congressman Smith, that was interviewed on this radio a few days ago, as a kleptocracy, government by roads or roads and for roads. And the World Bank is now saying that Liberia is among the 10 poorest countries, not of West Africa, not of Africa, but of the whole world. We are among the 10 poorest countries. So, with that level of poverty, what is there to celebrate? And we are becoming poorer and poorer every day. We don't have Wall Street here to look at, how our economy is moving. But for me, my Wall Street is a street. When you go to the street today, you go to any Lavabido, Kobo place, no one individual can buy Kobo now. 6 years ago, the price of Kobo was $100 and the highest $125. And one person could buy it. Today, the lowest price of Kobo is $400 Liberian dollars, and people are doing joint venture these days. When they do joint venture,
you know about joint venture?
I know about it. I want to be president, so I go everywhere. Joint venture. Oh, when I was a student at university, we used to go to 404. So then they do joint venture.
You went over 404?
Yeah.
Do you still go there these days?
No, I don't go there. I'm a lawyer now.
Level teaching?
Yeah. I'm a lawyer. I pay for the protocol. But listen, so they do joint venture, and then they say, then they go to the Kobo woman and say, but when you get money now, Oma, sepay. We'll do something. Yeah. Let's just start our day. They even will do something. Sometimes the Kobo woman even tell them, look, you'll do it by sepay before my food is over. And then most often, sometime in the evening, when nowhere, they go home. So even Kobo women are getting out of the market because of the level of poverty. That's the measurement that we use, because survival depends on eating. So people can't afford now that only Kobo and the Kobo, they have to do joint venture. It means the level of poverty in this country has gone way, way up. So there's nothing to celebrate. And the country is getting poorer, because I can say I am the only presidential aspirant, including the president in power, that has gone everywhere where no presidential candidate ever reached. And some of the places, the roads are so bad. I now realize that bad road increases poverty, because assuming that you have you have a planting farm or bitterball farm in Cllr, Maryland, and you say, I want to get a truckload of my planting or bitterball to go to Monrovia. You make arrangement, we go by truck with the women, they say, bring it. And you go to the Susu and borrow money to charter the truck and bring your planting or bitterball to Monrovia. When you get, as soon as you leave Fishtown, that is paved, and you get to Bepo Kanweken, to move from Bepo Kanweken to Kilipo Kanweken, that normal time when the road was good used to be 30 minutes, you take 10 days there, and your planting or your bitterball will get rotting. Then you have become poorer, because you have to come back now. You're not making money from your planting or bitterball, and you have to come back to the Susu to pay. And you tell the Susu, all the planting guy right there, bitterball, they say, they're not our business.
That could not be their business.
They're not our business.
All they know you're supposed to pay.
Pay. Because we have to divide our Susu. You are now going to take your last savings and then go to borrow money to pay the Susu.
Okay.
So you have become poorer. So with this condition, bad road, and now, right now, the other thing that is causing massive poverty in this country is that there are people in power who haven't taken all of the US dollars and now they are dumping Liberian dollars in America. Millions of Liberian dollars are being dumped in the market.
You think that's responsible for inflation? Or the
I'm an
skyrocketing.
economist. They say when you have a lot of money chasing few goods, the price goes up.
Okay.
And supply and demand. So now they are dumping Liberian dollars on the market for political purposes. I don't know why the Americans are not sanctioning more people because they pay for play right there. And the prices of essential commodities are going. Yesterday in Jalata, I saw the rate 195 to $1 US. So it means before the end of this month, it might reach 200 somewhere.
Okay, we come back to the economy later, but the last time I formed part of a few other journalists to have an interview with you was when you returned from the southeast and you complained about the road condition, and one of the ideas you proposed and said your government will implement if you were elected president would be empowering, the local public works, situated in the counties.
So let me say.
So how do you do that? I've always think about asking you on a larger platform to explain that more because you didn't have the time to really go into.
So
how do you do that,
So
Councillor?
because
how will work?
Because I live in the country, I live in the rural area before I came here. Most of the things I'm saying, I think that have been done before. Honor President Tobo, honor President Tubman, honor President Doe. The road when the roads in Liberia were not paved. In fact, honor Tubman, the pavement stopped at Totota. Togo took it, laid the first layer to Ganta. But you know what? They put public work stations in strategic places along the road to maintain the roads. There was one in Banga before the road was paved. There was one in Ganta. There was another one no, there was in Kwetu. Kwetu is between Tapeta and Cllr.
Okay.
There was one in Kwetu. There was one in Toastown. There was another one in Zwedu. Another one in Kawyeken. And then the last one was in Plibo because the road to Hapo was not paved then. So so during dry season, they used to rehabilitate all of the roads in the country. The same thing in Zozo, Foya, other places. There were caterpillars, public work, permanent employees there, caterpillar operators, road maintenance officers, and there was a road maintenance training institute on the Buchanan Road.
Oh, they had that?
Yes. Established by the Germans and the government care. People, they were training people that to be yellow machine operators, training people to be surveyors.
I think I know, along that Buchanan Road, that's called Gemma Camp.
Gemma Camp, that's exactly. Okay. They used to train road maintenance officers. They were not engineers, but they could help in road maintenance.
So they were doing hands-on.
Right. And so, when they did that, the roads were passable because freedom of movement is a right. And it is the obligation of the government, to guarantee freedom of movement of its citizens. Right now, it's being violated. Let me tell you, when they did that, the roads were good. People could leave from Tapeta in the morning, come to Monrovia, not pay a road, and go back before 7 o'clock in the evening. I saw that happening. Myself, as a university student, in 1979, I went there. That time, President Proton Abuche was still a high school student. I was a junior student at the university. And I went there for an organization that he was a member of YC as Young Student Movement.
Was he there?
He was there at Fatima, And I went there to do some extension work since the university was closed after April 14. Okay. So I was sent there by the organization. I went there. And after my mission there, I took a taxi from Harper City. Taxi. No taxi go to Harper City now. I took a taxi. That was in July. I took a taxi from Harper City at 6 o'clock. By 9 o'clock in the evening, I was in Monrovia.
3 hours?
No.
6 to 9, you said?
6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
Okay.
I was in Monrovia. One day, nobody can go to southeastern Liberia, whether you're driving 4x4 now and take 2 days. You take longer than that. Because government has neglected its responsibility of maintaining the roads throughout the country.
Let's come back to your idea of empowering, the public.
So I intend to bring that back.
Okay.
I intend to restore that. It's easy. People are probably no. You know, it's easy to do that. That's an idea that worked before, worked for more than 40 years. Why don't we bring it back? And it's better than having contracts for every little road and all the red tape and the 10%, the 20%, all that. Government buys the machines, they are there. The only thing is government will buy the fuel to run the machines and pay the staff to do it. Basically, and it worked, the rules were maintained. They were good. People could go all over the country. Lofa, bread basket, food were coming from Lofa all through the year. Same thing with Nimba, you know, Bon County. Forget about Banga. There are places in Bon County that cars are not, that are not reachable by cars. There are old roads there, but they have not been maintained. And I think we should do that. Because when we do that, it will cut down the level of expenses that we make on food importation. I was in Buto one time and I saw the entire orange tree was getting rotten and ripe. I said, but why are you not saying it? I said, but I will get it to the road.
That's tied into, agriculture, produce and how we, keep our food safe. One of the problems has been, though there's lack of road, we do not have a national storage facility to keep this food, for a longer time. That could be a problem. How do you address that? Enhance with bad road condition, all of those. Somebody could bring the food from Western Liberia or anywhere else and bring it to Monrovia, and then after 2-3 days, it's gone.
Let me tell you, the problem in this country is not that the lack of know-how. Every segment of our country, whether it's in agriculture, it's in road, it's in food production, food maintenance, you know, and keeping them, have all been researched. Okay. The findings are there. There is a lack of political will on the part of those who govern us to go by these findings.
You mean the Cllr roadmap? How we go about
international, the experts, Liberian experts, foreign experts that done research on the food chain coming from the farm and to the market and how to maintain. All of those things have been done, right? But they require spending money rather than spending money on the less than 1% of the people who govern us in the 3 branches of government. Because if you do that, you know, my running mate demonstrated well as he was doing in Banga the other day. He took a big cola nut and
I saw that demonstration. Yeah. I was watching.
Yeah, he said,
you didn't invite me to the program.
He said, okay, so let's take the executive branch, boom, big chunk. Let's take the legislature, big chunk. When he took all the people in government part, the one that remained to provide social services for the people was so small. And he said, our government will do it differently. Executive, small chunk. Another, the legislature, when you take all the government on, the one that remains is so big that we use. That's how we organize our budget. That we use to provide, to improve the road condition, to mechanize agriculture and build facilities for storage. All of those things will be in an agriculture program because we are putting money there. Our problem in this country, now that we have money, is misallocation of the income generated from our natural resources. Okay. I agree with the tip that you played before, that, and I've said it many times, that Liberia is a naturally rich country. Our poverty is by choice, because on election day, we choose people based on back and rights, liquor, election time, scholarship, and other humanitarian efforts that are only confined to election time. And we elect people who are incompetent, selfish, and don't love Liberia. Because, you know, countries compete. And citizens like to talk about the Ghanaians and say, our country is the best. Because you see improvement. We need to do that. But corruption has been a major hindrance. That's why I always have this broom. To teach people, to notify people that our government will leave no stone unturned, will unite the Liberian people to fight corruption in this country. Because listen, that is the only way. And why do I say we have money? One example, and there are many examples. I mentioned Abacha, it just happened to be there. But last year, the total salary received by our chair, the president pro tem of the Liberian Senate, apart from the $30,000 that they say they put big term behind legislative engagement fund, is another made in Liberia, because that terminology doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Will you scrap that off?
I did research.
When your government.
It will not exist, sir. It will not exist. Spending is for the executive. You are there to make law. We don't expect to spend. So when I hear law, because they say, I will pay rule, I will do that, I will do that. That's not your role. So your role is to make law that we will run government by.
Okay.
You know. So one of the things I will do, I will stop this thing that happened from Ellen government, where there's no separation of power. The legislators are involved in spending money in the counties, and they are a hindrance to county development, because they go there and say, oh, bring up, down, county city, we're part of county city, and some of them have companies that do construction work, and definitely embarrass the government.
One of the ways could be revamping, and empowering, the local government at implementation.
We will do that. To this
have you really read that?
Our part of this on consultancy,
With the formulation.
When the governance commission did some consultancy outside government. So
how good is our law council? Saying your part of consultation.
It has a lot of good parts, but I don't like the part that says that city mayors and other board should be appointed by the president.
You think they should be elected by the people?
I think, when people elect you, you feel responsible to them. Today, the president of Liberia, and for not just the government, has been for a long time, appoints town chief.
That would be the other way around. People who elect you and you are not, you're not thinking about them. As soon as, because like Abraham Lincoln would say.
No, but the good thing is that at least they know they can move you. But that the president appointing you, they have no power. Okay, so that's that power of dismissing you through the electoral process is a big power that the people have. The Constitution says power resides in the people and remains there permanently. The legislators, for example, are just agents of the people, right? Even the president is an agent of the people. They give you the power, if they're not happy, they take it back from you. And so I was talking about money in this country. Last year, because people are following me, the president pro tem of the Liberian Senate made $254,000 as total salary. Check this. Annually, the whole year. But the president pro tem, so I went to check on the president pro tem of the United States Senate. He made $193,000. So I said to myself, wait a minute, how is it possible for any official of government in Liberia to make higher than official government in the United States holding the same position?
With a better democracy, a better economy.
The richest country of the world, and now we are designated as the 10th poorest country of the world. We are a begging nation. How come our president pro tem is making higher salary than the president pro tem of the United States Senate? It means that we are misallocating our resources. That money should be going to education, health, food production, road maintenance. That is where the money should be going. The same thing with the speaker. The speaker made higher than the United States speaker last year. What is wrong with us? And citizens were to know in great number that the Liberian president pro tem and the speaker are making higher. He's knowledgeable about land business. He's an honest person. He comes from a humble background here. When you do what you say, when I can trust your words. And I knew him when he worked at the Land Commission with Dr. Othello Brandon. And I was the lawyer for Land Commission, the external lawyer.
So you've been friends for long?
Oh yeah, and I know, I think back in 2011, 2012. And we were working on these different laws together. For example, I drafted the Criminal Conveyance Act. I drafted that. And he was working with Dr. Othello Brandon, the head of the commission right there. And he came across to everyone, this young man, very young, came across to everyone as very smart, very serious, and very humble. Some people, when they are smart, they can be arrogant too. But that's, for me, the kind of role model that the young people need. A man whose mother died when he was 2 years old, who started kindergarten when he was 13, going 14. Today has 2 masters and a PhD and does not show it. You go and see him bunkering. I mean, just down to everyone. He's much younger than me. We are like 24 years apart. So when you talk about generation,
that could possibly be, I mean, on the average, the youngest ticket in the race. Adding your age to his, I mean, on the average.
Well, don't forget I'm older than Cummins. A few months.
Okay.
I'm older than him.
But Cummins' running mate is older, 5 years older than your running mate.
That is true.
Jeremiah Cohn, the running mate to Bwaka, is far older than your running mate.
That is true.
Madam Joa Howard Taylor,
Hey.
So average. I mean,
okay.
Yes.
All right. I agree. That's. Yeah, I haven't done the math yet, but it's possible.
Yeah. So,
but you know, the young people always talk about generational change. For me, that is the real generational change.
How does that fall in line with your plan for Liberia youthful population and make up almost 60% of the population? Nowadays,
that is the stepping stone. Because when I say it, I will be saying no credibility because I have one of the young people with me, and he will be their eye in the governance.
What do you think are his passion? He has had not much governance experience in the public sector. You do more because I remember you were minister. I was a kid in LAC. I remember you went there to cover, to mediate. I didn't know I was going to sit with you on the radio. I mean, you went there with Cole Bangali at the time. You were, Minister of Labor, and I heard you on the radio. Councillor Gongloe was here, everybody putting themselves in the order. I was around 6th, 7th grade. I didn't know I would have had an opportunity. But how do you measure your experience with his to achieve some of the things you think you want to achieve?
You know, one celebrated public servant who is in America now, I will call his name because I'm going to say something good about him. Ambassador Winston Tubman called me from the States and said, how did you get this young man? What did you use? The same question you were asking. I said, I studied him. He's humble. He's hardworking. He's honest.
Is he supporting you? Winston Tubman?
Yes, I would say so. I don't think I'm taking risk by saying so because he had told me
that he supports your bid.
Right. You say, I like what you say.
He should be supporting the CDC.
You say,
right on their ticket.
Well, people change,
Okay.
And CDC has performed. That's why a lot of people have left CDC because they have seen CDC's performance.
They could brag about the numbers they still receive when they're having programs and all of those.
Yeah.
They think we are still enjoy, the confidence of the people. Based on their gatherings.
Our history shows that if crowd politics were to be there are many people today who did not come near, who felt they had won. I sat one place in 2017 and saw 75 of these NTA bosses going to one rally. And that person didn't even come near me. So, I'm not too much impressed by crowd politics, especially when it comes to people who have money that incentivize people to go, But he's a good person. And everybody I've gone to his district, everybody, they say, this man growing up didn't cause any trouble in his village. He was just a lovely child. Everybody looked up to. And then he came out, for them it's like a miracle. To come out to have 2 masters. Let me tell you one story I heard. When he graduated from Cutler, and he did Cutler in 3 years, a 4-year degree.
I've had interview with him.
Yeah.
He's explained most of it.
Right. And then he came back, he was doing his graduate studies, and he wanted to look for a job at the Salvation Army Polytechnic. He said, when the job we have a janitorial job for $50, I said, I will take it. How many people? Some people graduated from
He did that?
He did that. And then he became a janitor and was making $50 while doing master's degree. Some of our high school graduates, graduate from CW or BDR, or one of those top schools, then they can't say, janitor, look at me, I look up. But the man did that. That is a mark of a great man.
People would, complain in some other ways about the gender sensitivity of some of the tickets, including yours, having two men. I mean, what else? I mean, your party, your manifesto, and a Gongloe becoming president hold for, I mean, gender issue on the overall,
Okay,
not
so
just women,
it
but
is
just
written
gender
in
issue.
my 10-point agenda. If you go on the internet, you see it. In my 10-point agenda, I have there that the Gongloe administration will have 50% of the cabinet posts and senior government position allotted to women, 50% to men.
Did you have any reason for which you chose a man to be your running mate?
He was the best I could find. I was not looking for popularity. I was looking for character.
You cut across the women, I mean, looking at them.
Oh, I talk to women.
Okay. You
I
want
talk
to
to
talk
women.
about? You want to name some of them, or you want to keep it confidential?
Well, I talked to. In fact, one of them said, "I will testify for you." Lima Bowie.
Because
So,
I remember
wait.
Senator Lauren has said you reached out to her.
Oh, yes, I did. And I reached out to, there's a lady, she works with an NGO. I reached out to her. I reached out to a lady from Grandchildren.
Okay.
My idea was, and I can call her name, Betty Breeze. I don't think that's anything offensive. I reached out to Betty Breeze. I even got her brother to talk to her, Charles Breeze. I got a lot of grandchildren to talk to her. And she gave a family reason for which she couldn't take the offer.
Okay.
All right? So I reached out to women. And there are some whom I won't call. You know, I even reached out to Sarah Yanti Beslow.
Okay.
Beslow Yanti.
She's not running.
She's not running. All right? So I did. But I prayed to God for the best. And when I got Yuri Yapolo, I said, this is what God was having for me. That's
Do you
why
think he's the best?
he is the best.
Okay.
He is the best. I mean, there's no one that this young man has talked to, even in our party, and ordinarily, that is not impressed. He doesn't pass by you and you don't remember any good thing about him. So I think I have the best. Our ticket is a dream team, a dream ticket. That's the ticket that Liberia won in terms of building a new Liberia. We want to change Liberia's story for
How
the
do you
better.
get or do you like Liberia?
Rule of law. There is no way we can have this chaos going on and Liberia transforms to a better country. We strongly believe that a better Liberia is possible. So we want to strengthen the rule of law because that will create an atmosphere for
Wouldn't your
investors to come in.
administration interfere with the judiciary? We've heard out, I mean, over and over through allegations that presidents in the country have interfered with the
In
working
fact,
of
one
the
of the
judiciary.
things on my agenda in combating corruption is I will issue an executive order in the first 100 days that any official of the executive branch of government that interferes with the judiciary will be dismissed immediately. Or just finding a fact that is true, then you don't enjoy again my pleasure because you are appointed into government based on the will and pleasure of the president. The will is your qualification and experience. But when you misbehave like that, you're not, because I don't want anybody to tamper with the independence of the judiciary. I will not because the independence of the judiciary is what will attract investors to come here. I will not allow anybody to interfere with law enforcement. Because look, all the job thing that they talk about, there's a supply side. I talked to some DA officers, former and present DA officers. I'm a former Solicitor General. They say we can stop drug in no time. But when we stop it, and they tell me drugs are not coming through the porous border. We have porous borders. They say, Councillor, the drugs are not coming through the border. They are coming through the authorized borders. Okay. But there are top people in government who will tell you, leave that consignment. That, that's my interest. Or you lose your job. What do we do? So when me, who have never tasted narcotic drug in my life, and strong on law enforcement, take power in this country, a lot of people go to jail in a short time. The police, the drug enforcement officer will rely on me and be brave against or people under me who want to threaten them. Will stop drug coming in this country, and then we'll rehabilitate the young people, give them skills to become productive citizens in the country.
On yesterday, I mean, the orators of Liberia's 76th independence celebration had mentioned that you, the politicians, should encourage peace to allow Liberia have a free, fair, credible elections and transition if possible. Did you listen to him? What are your thoughts?
That aspect of it, great, and I think everyone should sing that same song. That all politicians, and the politicians include those in power and those outside power, to make sure that there is peace.
He also blamed you, the opposition, of criticizing the president and some opposition members insulting others.
You know, one of the things in this country is for people like Chief Zanza Kawa and others who are elders of the state to remain balanced, objective, and not be seen as pro-government.
Isn't he balanced?
He was not balanced. Because when you blame the opposition, when even the president get up and react to former former VP Waka the way he does, when he goes on his pulpit and talks to Senator Prince Johnson, the way he does sometimes, way hitting below the belt. As a president, your father of the nation, you should rise above small talks, right? He didn't advise on that. There was a reverend who tried to advise the president.
In Grand Bassa.
Yeah, in Grand Bassa, and the way he reacted.
And the president hit it back.
He reacted. And Zanza Kawa, who come from Grand Bassa, did not say anything about that. All right? I'm trying to be balanced and objective.
Okay.
Bishop Isaac Winker, a few years ago, tried to put the president online, and he reacted. Of course, he's on the board of one of the corporations and all of it, which is one of the things that I think the president doing. Bribing, you know, I consider it bribing religious leaders. That's something that the president did before. Even President Tubman, who was a reverend.
This is true, and people will ask you for evidence.
Well, I've been living in the country. Under President Tubman, even the Baptist minister like Reverend Tomo Reeves, who was at Providence Baptist Church, used to be very critical of the government. In fact, when President Tubman wanted to reduce the age of consent from 16 to 12, so that 12-year-old girls can get married, the strongest critic of that was Reverend Tomo Reeves. He put a 12-year-old girl on the altar and said, Speaker Richard Harris, who was a deacon in that church, can this be somebody's wife? And you know what I'm saying? So the religious leaders of the past, both in the Islamic faith and the Christian faith, were very strong in terms of advising government. Very critical. Even the gambling thing in this country, the religious leaders in unison condemn it. Several things they condemn. Bishop Francis and Sheikh Afuma Kone, one a Christian, one a Muslim, were very strong in this country up to tell that time. So I expect that the traditional leaders would be like Chief Tambatila, you know, Chief Waidoli, all these old chiefs who used to look at president, because they were like kings. They used to look at president and tell president, you can't do this. I remember when I think that the Western thing or Kuwamba thing came out, and Joe called all the leaders that came. These chiefs, one of them said, be careful, Mr. Chairman, when two elephants fight, the grass suffer. So I didn't expect him, and you know, sometimes people question people like Chief Zanaka, but he's my friend, by the way. He come to my office. When they are riding government purchase cars, when they're getting all of these goodies from government, then they are seen as partial and not objective. And I advised civil society organizations, including Marketing Association, the Council of Chiefs, and all of that, in a paper I delivered in Guinea in 2002 that put me in trouble with Taylor. I say it is good for people in civil society, like the Marketing Association, the Driver Union, like the Council of Chiefs and all that, not to be seen as opposition spokesperson or ruling party spokesperson, because that erodes their credibility. They're standing to be internal mediators when there's conflict.
Do you still teach?
So for example, yeah, Musu Masakwe was president of the Marketing Association of Liberia. But the Marketing Association of Liberia used to go to the mansion with NDP and teacher. We want do. I used to like a very beautiful woman, very commanding. But during the war, because NPF took her to be a pro-government person, she ran away. She went to refuge in a village in her home country, Kidman. Musu Massacre was killed by the rebels because they took her to be a protege of the ruling establishment. So it's good for our traditional religious leaders, civil society leaders to remain neutral, not to be visible opposition leaders, supporters, or visible ruling party supporters, because that undermines their credibility when there is internal conflict.
Okay, Councillor Tiawan concludes our guest. The next time I will have the opportunity to host you, we'll go back to the Arthur Grimes and School of Law. There are too many things happening at that institution. I really wanted to ask whether you still teach there and what are your thoughts. But I hope I can have you back very soon. 077 So let's talk to David Coty. Hello?
Yeah, David Coty.
I call your name already.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
but he likes to call your own name.
Good evening to my big brother in studio.
Yeah, the cousin to the president. Welcome.
My brother, I beg you, let's talk this, don't confuse me. If Black American...
David Coty, I like to make correction. I'm not your older brother. You are my older brother. We were both at the police. I was at the police barracks. And when I in 3rd grade, you were in the 5th grade at SDA school. I know you.
The message he said, yo, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right. A Black American actor, Morgan Freeman, once said, and I quote, "When you destroy somebody's life with lies, dishonesty, cheating, and corruption, take it as a loan. You will pay it back. It will come back to you with interest." I repeat this. When you destroy somebody's life with lies, deceit, corruption, dishonesty, take it as a loan. It will come back to you with interest.
Okay.
In other words, when you cheat people, when you think you are the only one who got Gamos in your house, you think the one who got children to send to school, and you want to eat all and suffer the people who put you there, be very careful. You will pay it back with interest. What are the problems we got in this country here? And we'll continue to live poor in this country as long as our leaders are not willing to listen to criticism. Our leaders are not from heaven. Like the Christmas yesterday, in America there's corruption. But the reason why things are getting better over the every day is that the leaders listen to criticism.
Okay.
Yes, no. They are gods. When you criticize, then you are an enemy of the state. Just 1 minute, please, I beg you, 1 moment.
No, I ain't 1 minute. Wow.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
During the Cllr regime, people who advocated for justice in this country were called street boys. Marcus Marty, other people were called street boys. During the Dole regime, people who advocated for justice in this country were called dissident collaborators. During the Edwin time, people who advocated for justice were called noisy minority. Today, when you talk about somebody who gets more salary than they're not supposed to get, they call you enemy of the state. What are the state? The country is too poor to be like.
David Coty, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello? Yeah, let's hear you, boss man.
Thank you for coming. Dr. Choco.
I don't feel to my man. I call the people who feel go ahead.
Let me say good evening to Councillor Gongloe in studio. As a matter of fact, this is activate Martin Runner, who just returned from Lima County. And then I call you.
I'm going to go ahead and talk the thing you want to talk. Yeah, we get time.
I've never talked on Gongloe. And now I spent more than 2 hours in Lima County. And I tell to you that in fact, Honorable Gongloe was stepping a stage will pull the books in Lima County because I've visited vast majority of the popular places in Lima County. That means that vast majority of people who are working there, suffering, they divided scene at the sun, the scene at the light in the darkness. I want to conclude with this. Honorable Gongloe, my recommendation
You ain't been there. My man, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's talk to the next person. Hello. Yeah.
Good evening, Tiawan Saye, and good evening to the legal luminary studio, Mr. Tiawan Gongloe. They soon, must soon, and join from Cardinal View.
Yes. Go ahead, Chief.
I want to appreciate him for his splendid deliberation. For to be honest, in this election comes October 10, it is a two-horse race. Either Mr. Weir or Mr. Boaka. So the 11 people who are going to make that decision on those two candidates that are called.
So who tell you say it's going to be only George Weir and Joe Boga? Now you don't want to get all the population and the citizens in the country. You know their minds, or because they are going to the political party rallies. Yeah.
So it or assessment of and true opinion polls that have been conducted by civil society organizations, places Mr. Weir and Mr. Boaka as the two formidable candidates in these elections.
Thank you. Hello.
Hey, Tiawan.
Let's hear you. Go ahead, Chief.
Good evening, the board council. Council, good evening. I'm Jerome Kutula, call from Kingston. Council, you know, for some of us from the student background, we admire you. And some of us who are not to join the group, but JMB represents the true liberalization policy of this country. So we cannot leave JMB and follow the board council. But we love you, but I think you can endorse GMB now before the second round. Because GMB represents the most liberalization policy of this country. So it develop the country. So you can endorse GMB tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's get the next person. Lastly.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chief.
Yes, Tiawan, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Go ahead. How you doing?
I'm fine. This is Thomas Bowen. I'm calling from Puebla resident. And I actually called to commend Mr. Gongloe. He's one of the Liberian politicians that I admire so much, and which that this 2023 will come his way so that he can manifest, you know, his education and his law, you know. So I pray that everything goes away this 2023.
Okay. Thank you. Councilor, you heard Curtis?
Yeah, well, you know,
you just got 2 more minutes.
Those are opinions they have. Those who say...
Somebody said you should endorse Boaka tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what he said. But Boaka was in a government for 12 years that made corruption a vampire, and I led that government in the 5th year of that government. We are two different people. What Boaka can accept and he has patience for, I don't have patience for that. Okay. You know, because I believe that Liberia needs to change. I believe, you know, corruption must not be considered in any respect. And so, he feels that Boaka will make it, that's his view, let him go vote that way. But we have a long way to election where they debate these issues coming election time. The parties will debate. And let me say, I'm a different politician in the race. When everybody is talking about rule of law, who has the experience in rule of law? I do. You know, people talk about good governance, and none of them had actually been critical of good governance. The 3 leading opposition, Boaka, myself, and Cummings, were adults during tougher time on the virtual one-party state.
Are you the 3 leading opposition?
Well, that the people talk about. I mean,
what do you think?
The 3 that people talk about a lot. They never raised, they were not critical. They never disagree on the Tory party. They never disagree under the military regime. They never disagree on the Taylor. So, for example, right now, Boaka and Cummings only criticize George Weir when it comes to bad government and essentially about corruption. That is unfair. You have to be objective. And I take Liberian interest first. And so, let me conclude. I hope we have another.
I'll call you first.
So that I can talk about free education.
I want to talk about. I want to really talk about it last.
Yeah,
I'll call you back first.
But we need to talk about free education and mechanized farming. We'll talk about rural a little bit more. But at least we need to talk about the other things. Yeah, thank
Councillor
you.
Gongloe, thank you. Wish you all of the best. Tiawan Gongloe, presidential aspirant, one of Liberia's legal luminary, acclaimed lawyer. He's been our guest on today. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the OK Conversation. Thanks to Dioda Ray. She's been live streaming us on Facebook. My name is Troken. Goodbye for now. Fami and I will be here on tomorrow evening. Have yourself a wonderful